Let me tell you something kind of surprising, something you might not have noticed unless you're really paying attention to the social media world. You ever get that weird feeling when you open up an app you used to love and suddenly it just feels empty? Like the energy's gone, the people are gone, and you're left scrolling through a bunch of stuff you don't even care about? Well, that's exactly what's been happening with X. Yeah, X, what we all used to call Twitter. And honestly, the story of how this massive platform, once the beating heart of online conversation, could be on its way out by 2025, it's wild, and it says a lot about how fast things can change online. So grab your coffee or whatever you're sipping on, and let's dig into this together. And hey, if you're into these kinds of deep dives, stories about the internet, tech, and how it all shapes our lives, go ahead and hit subscribe. I love having curious folks like you along for the ride. Alright, back to X. Remember when Twitter was the place to be? Like if something happened in the world, an election, a celebrity meltdown, a big game, you'd see it on Twitter first. Hashtags would explode, memes would spread like wildfire, and everyone from your neighbor to the president was chiming in. It felt alive, it felt essential. But now, here we are in 2025, and it's like the lights are dimming. The party's not over, but people are definitely sneaking out the back door. Let's start with what's actually happening on the platform. The numbers are telling. X still claims somewhere around 600 million monthly active users, which sounds huge, right? But dig a little deeper and you'll see that most of those people aren't really doing much. In fact, just 10% of users are responsible for 92% of all tweets. The rest? They're just scrolling, lurking, maybe liking a post here and there, but mostly just watching from the sidelines. It's like showing up to a concert and realizing only the front row is singing along, while everyone else is just checking their phones. And it's not just about who's posting. Engagement is down across the board. The average number of likes per post has dropped, mentions and reposts are slipping, and even the most viral tweets aren't getting the kind of traction they used to. People are spending less time on X, and when they do log in, it's not with the same excitement or urgency. It's more like checking the fridge for the fifth time, hoping something new will magically appear. But maybe you're thinking, okay, so people are a little less active. Big deal.
Isn't that just how the internet works? Well, not exactly, because what's happening on X isn't just a slow fade, it's a real, measurable decline. In the US alone, the platform lost millions of daily active users in just a few months after the last election. That's not a blip, that's a trend. And it's not just America. In Europe, engagement is down 15% since Elon Musk took over. Even in places where Twitter used to be a cultural force, people are quietly slipping away. Now, you might be wondering, why? What changed? And honestly, it's a mix of things, but a lot of it comes down to the vibe. The atmosphere on X has shifted. After Elon Musk bought Twitter and rebranded it as X, things got weird. The platform started feeling less like a public square and more like a chaotic free-for-all. Misinformation, hate speech, and toxic arguments started flooding people's feeds. Moderation policies changed, and suddenly a lot of folks didn't feel so comfortable hanging out there anymore. And get this, one of the features Musk was really proud of, something called Community Notes, was supposed to help fix the misinformation problem. It let regular users add context to tweets, like little fact checks from the community. But even that's falling apart. Participation in Community Notes has dropped by half since the start of the year, and technical glitches have made it even harder for people to contribute. It's like the one tool meant to keep things honest is gathering dust in the corner. But the problems go deeper than just bad vibes and buggy features. Advertisers, the lifeblood of any free social platform, are heading for the exits. Big brands like Apple, IBM, Disney, and BMW have either paused their ads or left X entirely. Why? They're worried about their ads showing up next to hate speech, conspiracy theories, or just plain nonsense. And when the big spenders leave, the money dries up. X's ad revenue has dropped dramatically, and even though engagement with ads spiked for a while, the overall trend is down, down, down. It's not just the big brands either. Smaller businesses, the kind that used to rely on Twitter for cheap, organic reach, are finding it harder and harder to get noticed. The platform has shifted to a pay-to-play model where you basically have to buy ads or pay for premium features if you want anyone to see your posts. If you're not shelling out cash, your content is buried. That's a tough sell for a scrappy startup or a local coffee shop. And while all this is happening, the competition is heating up. Remember Threads? That's Meta's answer to X, and it's growing fast. Threads already has over 300 million active users and offers way higher engagement rates than X, like 73% higher. People say it feels friendlier, less toxic, and just more fun to use. And then there's Blue Sky, another alternative that's picking up steam, especially among the crowd that misses the old Twitter vibe. Even media outlets and brands are shifting their attention to these new platforms, leaving X feeling more and more like a ghost town. What's wild is that X is still trying to reinvent itself. Elon Musk keeps talking about turning X into an everything app, like a one-stop shop for social media, payments, videos, and who knows what else. But so far, those big dreams haven't really materialized. The daily active user count has basically flatlined at 250 million for over 2 years, and the app's download rankings are slipping. There's just not a lot of evidence that people are buying into the vision. And let's talk about the user experience for a second. If you log in today, you'll probably notice a lot more bots, scams, and AI-generated junk clogging up your feed. Real conversations are getting drowned out by noise. Niche communities, the ones that made Twitter special, like Black Twitter, Academic Twitter, or even Weird Twitter, are fading away as people migrate to other platforms or just give up on social media altogether. It's kind of like walking into your favorite bar and realizing all your friends have left, the music's changed, and the new crowd isn't really your scene. You might stick around for a drink or two, but eventually you're going to find somewhere else to hang out. Now, you might be thinking, isn't this just the natural cycle of social media? Didn't we see the same thing happen with MySpace, Vine, even Facebook to some extent? And yeah, there's definitely a pattern here. Platforms rise, they get huge, they lose their way, and eventually something new comes along to take their place. But what's happening with X feels different because it's happening so fast and it's so visible. The decline isn't hidden in the numbers, it's right there in the experience. And here's something even more interesting. There are people actively organizing to leave X, not just drifting away, but actually calling for coordinated exits. Influencers are telling their followers, hey, we're done here. Let's all move to Threads or Blue Sky on this date. It's like a digital walkout, and it's gaining momentum. When the people who drive conversation and culture decide to leave, the rest of the crowd usually follows. But let's not forget, X isn't dead yet. There are still millions of people logging in every day. News breaks there, politicians rant there, and memes are born there. For some industries, like journalism, tech, and politics, it's still a key place to be. But the energy is different. It's more obligatory than exciting, more transactional than communal. And honestly, you have to wonder what's next. Will X pull off a comeback? Will Elon's vision for an everything app finally click? Or are we watching the slow-motion collapse of what was once the world's town square? I think about it like this. Social media is a reflection of us. When a platform gets toxic, boring, or irrelevant, it's usually because it stopped serving what people actually want. We want connection, creativity, a sense of belonging. If we don't get that, we'll go somewhere else. It's that simple. And right now, X feels like it's stuck in the past, clinging to an audience that's already halfway out the door. The features that made it special, real-time conversation, community-driven context, a sense of shared experience, are either broken, neglected, or overshadowed by noise. The people who made it vibrant are finding new homes, and the brands that paid the bills are spending their money elsewhere. I mean, think about it. If you're a company, do you really want your ad showing up next to a conspiracy theory or a hate-filled rant? Probably not. And if you're just a regular user, do you want to wade through bots and scams to find a decent conversation? Also, probably not. So what's the takeaway here? Maybe it's that nothing online lasts forever, not even the giants. Maybe it's that we, as users, have more power than we realize. When we decide to leave, to stop engaging, to find better spaces, the platforms have to either adapt or fade away. And honestly, that's kind of exciting. It means the internet is still alive, still changing, still full of possibilities. New platforms will rise, new communities will form, and maybe, just maybe, we'll find better ways to connect. But for now, X is at a crossroads. It's not gone yet, but it's definitely not the force it once was. The numbers are slipping, the vibe is off, and the competition is fierce. Unless something dramatic changes, it's hard to see how it survives as anything more than a shadow of its former self. So next time you open up X and wonder why it feels so different, remember, it's not just you.
The world is moving on, and maybe it's time we all did too. And hey, if you made it this far, you're exactly the kind of person I love talking to. Curious, thoughtful, and ready to dig into the big questions. So don't forget to subscribe, and let's keep exploring this wild world of tech and culture together. Who knows what we'll discover next?